From all over the world.
Nice. I like that.
I honestly don't like the question, like, where are you from?
Okay.
I feel like I'm really from everywhere.
Okay.
I'm like,
Expand on that.
yes.
What's the best approach?
Right.
First of all, are
Where
you
were
single?
born?
Are you single?
No.
Okay. So, man, you cannot hit on her, so this is not for you. So go ahead.
Move this closer to me.
Yes. So if you ask me
heavy.
where was I born, I'm from Guadalajara,
All right.
Jalisco.
Okay.
That's where I was born.
Tapatia.
Yes, Tapatia.
All right.
I've been here in the U.S. for pretty much my whole life. I would say maybe 28 years,
Noise.
if not more. But yeah. What was
So
your
then
question?
someone shouldn't ask you where you from. They should ask you where were you born.
If they really want to know where I was born, then ask me, yes, where were you born?
So then what's the best approach to kind of start it off? Like, who is Jordy?
Who is Jordy? Wow. Boom.
That's my camera.
Boom. Who am I? I'm everything. That's something that I really can't specify. To me, now in the journey that I am now in my life, I come to an understanding that we all are. We are everything. We are everyone. I'm you, I'm you, I'm you. So I can relate to each one of you because what each one of you have, I have that. Or I thought of that. Or I went through that. So I just think more about like energetically.
Okay.
Outside of this body, outside of this life, who we are.
Oh, man.
And
This is going to be good.
more on what I focus on.
Oh, I can't wait
When
to ask more
somebody
questions.
says, who are you? People tend to respond, oh, I'm a doctor. I'm a lawyer.
Right. Titles.
Right. Yeah. And I think I go a little bit beyond that.
Noise. I can't wait.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
that.
Exciting.
Live it.
So go ahead and introduce yourself. Who are you?
My name is Sandy. I am a fun, loving, very energetic person.
You're not a squirrel under the sea?
No,
Okay.
that's not me. Oh my god. Let's leave that in kindergarten. I would get asked that or told that all the time in kindergarten, and I didn't like my name because of that. But
That's
growing
horrible.
growing
That's
up,
horrible.
now as an adult, I do like my name because it is more unique. I don't know another Sandy. I just think it fits me now because I am unique.
Right.
And yeah.
Oh, this is going to be good.
Yep.
So before we get to the topic, I mentioned to you that I had one of these current events. And it's not current because I guess already happened, but Tory Lanez, the rapper, R&B singer, or whatever he is, I guess rapping is the category. He's going to jail for 10 years because he shot
Meg Thee Stallion.
Meg Thee Stallion's feet.
Oh, yeah.
He got 10 years for that. My question, is that too much or is that just right?
I think that's too little.
Too little? Okay.
For shooting someone,
Right.
10 years?
But we're talking about feet.
Okay, it doesn't matter the
okay.
body
It doesn't
part.
matter? Okay.
No.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
the intention behind
Uh,
it. You can if you guys have seen videos of her and like her statement when she speaks about it, she's still shaken up. Like
Right.
you can't
Sounds like it was a toxic
undo
relationship.
The
like,
trauma,
yeah.
that comes from that because it's physical, it's emotional, it's mental, it's all of it.
Right.
So
I mean, when you think about it initially, right, it's just,
So what
someone's
actually
feet, right?
happened? No, but what actually happened? Because, and I know y'all feel a certain way about it.
This is
but
why I brought it
I've never
up.
watched the videos. Yeah, I've never watched the videos or kept up with any of that because I'm just not that person, But
Got better
but
things
when
to
I
do.
get like a backstory of what actually happened, because I don't know. I mean, yeah, you shouldn't be shooting somebody's feet.
Well, and I think you
kind
guys
of
brought
funny
up a
story
great
when you
point,
say
right? It doesn't matter what body part it was.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what
right?
body part.
And based on what my little research that I did, it's just, they were at an event They probably got too lit, as the kids say, and things got a little out of control. Somehow a gun got pulled out. And they started shooting. Apparently, they were trying to make her dance. That's rumors. I don't know if that's like dance for me, Katush, Katush. Like I don't know. I don't know.
I remember. I remember on 8 Mile,
rumors.
Boy was trying to show his gun and he shot his ball. That's the thing. Like,
it happens.
Like, are they playing around? Or are they intentional?
That's
all
his
that
karma.
stuff,
The 10 years of.
And you say it's too little.
Karma.
I mean,
You want somebody
I don't
to do
even
life?
know. I don't
10
know
years
the
is a long
story.
time.
I thought it was like on purpose. I don't
It
know.
seemed like it
could've
was
been,
though.
yeah.
Like that's
don't know
it's
all
a
of
he
it.
say she say, right? Because there's not a lot of actual evidence pointing out to what happened. She said this is what happened. He says this is what happened. Now, if I was part of the Foot Fetish Association, I probably would say 10 years is not enough, right? 10 years per foot. So if you shot both feet, that's 20 years. But
Right.
that's just my point of view. I don't know.
Oh my god. That sounds
Shot his toe off.
That's my camera.
That's my camera too.
Oh man. Okay, so
Sharing is caring.
So that's my current event.
Facts.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have one before we get into the topic, because that's a life-changing event, right?
Yeah.
You think about it. It's a wild night. You do something crazy, and then it leads to this.
That's sad.
and I get it. Like there's a lot of crazy stuff goes on, and a lot of people in certain places are just used to pulling out a gun. You know what I mean?
Take the basketball player. What's his name? The young
What is his
basketball.
name?
I forgot his name.
Which
The
one you talking about? That one?
the young basketball player.
He
He
was sucking on the toe.
no. He was on Instagram Live or whatever. He pulled up a gun.
Oh
And he did it twice. So I think the second time they were going to suspend it completely.
I was always
I
taught
forget
not
his
to
name.
play with weapons. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if I pull out my gun, I'm gonna use it. You know what I mean?
Oh, damn.
Or
As it should.
yeah, like
Damn.
we're made to be ready to
Scary.
use it. Like that's my mentality. So I never in basic training, if I got bored, I'm messing around with it, doing all that stuff. But once you became a soldier, the only time you had your weapon is you had it down. If you were holding it, you had the barrel pointed down, and you're not putting your finger anywhere near the trigger well.
Right.
So you don't pull your trigger ever. You're not playing with the safety, not playing with anything. You know your safety's on, and you're still not gonna play with anything. When you point it at something, you're ready to fire.
Right.
Until you take that safety off, you don't put your finger in the trigger well. So
Wow.
when it comes to people, I'm not gonna aim it at somebody I care about or I love or I can disarm by myself. You know what I mean? If I don't know the person, that's the only time I'm going to aim my weapon at a person if I feel threatened or in danger.
Right.
And that's my thing about it. When it comes to 10 years, that's a long time.
That's a long time, bro.
I think
It
there
is
was
a very
more
long
things on top of that.
And that's my thing because I don't know what was going on.
Well,
But,
it's definitely more than one charge, right? The charge is, I believe, having a unregistered weapon in a car, discharge of a weapon, and I can't remember what the third one was, but again, it is still 10 years out of your life.
And not only that, like
Successful
grandparents,
person.
especially black grandparents, they'd be like, "You bet not hit a bee, but you can shoot a bee."
Oh,
So you
okay.
get taught and you take
Okay.
things literal. And so when
So you
it
think
first
he took
happened,
that
I
teaching
think-
very literal?
in
I can't
like,
smack you,
growing
but
up
I'ma
in certain
shoot you.
areas, yeah, growing up in certain
Damn.
areas, when you hear certain things, it's
He's
like
Canadian, though.
It's like,
Is it Tory Lanez from Canada?
so Drake is from Canada.
He ain't aggressive.
I mean, you can go to London. It don't matter.
You think
It don't
Drake
matter.
would shoot someone?
Have you seen those London gangster movies?
But London and Canada are two
It
different.
don't matter where you from.
Okay.
That-
Well,
who
like
you
you
are.
say,
Who
right?
you are.
We're from everywhere.
If they put you in a
Yeah,
box, they
okay.
put you in a box. You know what I'm saying? If you're put in a box, you're put in a box. You get taught a certain way, you think a certain way, and
Right.
you move a certain way. You try to relate to the people you can relate to. So if you're put in a box of, free and innocent, you're gonna be free and innocent. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Your mentality is gonna be free and innocent. Your surroundings, your environment's gonna be free and innocent. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Some people live in the worst places and their mentality is
That's true.
hey,
Abundance.
nothing
That's true,
bad
yeah.
happens any day.
It's
You
true.
know what I mean? For real. Some people live in a best environment, and it's Malibu's Most Wanted.
Yeah.
Y'all remember that?
Yeah.
You straight tripping, boo. You know what I mean? Like his mentality is, I'm a rapper. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
He never was from the
right,
streets.
he put himself in that box of what he wanted to be. So it doesn't matter where you're from. Sometimes you put yourself in a position where
It's true.
The role you play.
yeah,
Play
that's
a
the
role
role
in
you're gonna
this
play.
life.
Well, that's what they do with elephants. You know that, right?
I
Oh
believe
my
you.
gosh, talk to me about elephants.
Don't talk to her
It's
about
my
elephants because it's
spirit
gonna
Is
be
that your
like,
spirit animal?
sensitive.
Okay.
I am sensitive.
Okay, so should I not?
Talk to me.
Should I just let it
There's
go?
gonna be some bad stuff about elephants.
No, but to train elephants when they're babies, what they do, right? They chain them up, all right?
right.
So they chain them up, they can't escape, and they're like that. They keep growing, and the chain is still there. The elephant is one of it's probably the most powerful animal in the earth. They can easily break the chain, but because their whole life they've been confined to that chain, they don't break it,
Right.
right? So to
It's
your point, it's
exactly
just
like-
we're in
yeah.
that box.
It's like the flea too. Like they put a flea in a jar, and the flea can jump. I think 3 times this height or 30 times this height, whatever. The thing is, like, you put a flea in a jar, and once the fleas that are in there die out, new fleas are born, and the flea will only jump to the roof of that jar. And when you let that flea out, it won't know its potential of how far it can actually jump, because it's only known that it can jump as far as the
That's what they know their whole life.
jar
Yeah.
is because they've never jumped farther, so
Right.
they're bound to, as far as they've known their life, that they, I don't know,
Right? No. You're right. That's exactly
the
right.
length of
Yeah.
where
And-
they can go, you know.
And so when it comes to life changing, experiences, if we don't break that chain, or if we don't jump above
don't try
that,
to
if
jump
we don't
farther.
try, then we're never gonna have that life changing experience, right?
Exactly.
And so that's why I wanted to bring that topic in a specific,
Yeah.
because I feel like that's a
It's-
situation where it's a life changing experience in a negative way, right? Because we want to talk about it in a enlightened way,
But the
positive
first
way.
thing they got to do is because no matter where you've came from, no matter the people that's been around you, you can always change.
Right.
Right.
You know what
Right.
I mean? But
Right.
sometimes you do need help. You do need to first feel like, hey, I want better for myself. And then there may or may not be somebody that comes around. Most of the time, I feel like manifestation. If you really want help, help will come. And even if you don't even think you want help, help will still come. It may not come how you want it or when you want it, but when it's there, open your eyes to it. Because
Right.
a lot of people say, hey, this is not the change I wanted.
Exactly.
So I'm not even gonna go for it. You know what I mean? And that's
True
actually
that.
how my life
True
got
that.
changed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like
But-
that story in the Bible, right? Like when the guy that's drowning, and he's like, no, he's asking God for help to save him. And then he sends a boat, and he's like, no, I'm waiting for God. God is going to save me. And then something else comes, and then he keeps saying the same thing. It's like God was sending all these people to save you,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
It's not a biblical story, but
Yeah, that's
I know
I
what
was
you're
gonna
saying.
say too.
Yeah.
There was a story on TikTok.
Not
that a
really just,
pastor
but
said-
yeah.
No,
talked
but
about-
I know
it's a
that
parable.
story.
But
Yeah.
you're on the right track,
Yeah.
right? I was just making the correction.
Yeah.
That's all. I love
So-
that. I love that.
Let's start with Jordy, okay?
Again.
So, you're here now,
Desde Guadalajara, Jalisco,
Yes.
right?
And then LA.
y las calles de Los Angeles.
Salt Lake City. Now, but so you feel like your life has been changed?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Can I ask you,
Go ahead.
right? Because the way you speak, I'm definitely gonna be in tune. Because it's, sometimes you see these videos on TikToks, this Instagram people, and they're always talking about, Jupiter is here, so I'm feeling this way, and it's. I don't think it's all BS. It's just an interesting perspective, right? And I'm always intrigued by it. And so when you were like, well, I'm not from here, I'm from everywhere, it's like, okay, here we go. This is interesting because I like to learn more about that. And so you can definitely say your life changed, but can you tell me of a time where you wanted to make a change in your life and you made it happen?
Honestly, I think it's been my whole life that I've been wanting to make a change. So It's interesting because I tell my husband, I'm not single.
Yeah.
I tell my husband, whenever there's like a big change coming into my life, I feel it. If you ask me, what do you feel? I cannot explain to you what I feel. It's just like something inside me. Somehow, I don't even know how to explain what I feel, but I feel that there's a change coming. And not too long ago, I told my husband, I feel that reset again. It's like a reset inside me. You know, that it's like, I feel like something is coming, like big things are coming. And let me tell you, it does happen.
It was a mansion.
Not yet. Almost. There's things that are happening right now. I want to keep those to myself.
Of course.
You know, I believe in like energies. Energies attract. So when it happens, I will share it. But that's something that has been happening my entire life.
When was the first time you noticed it?
The first time I noticed that happened to me, it was probably about, well, the first time that I really noticed it, it was about 4.5 years ago. And then from that time, I started realizing how many times had happened in the past. But that's pretty much when it happened.
That was your aha moment.
Yes. And that's when ayahuasca came to me.
Ayahuasca.
Yes. I'm
Okay,
in
I see ya.
silence.
So this reset happened prior to you using ayahuasca,
Yes.
or was it during that transition? Okay.
It was prior
Okay.
to ayahuasca.
Okay.
So during that time, I had started exercising. I was going to a gym, like to weight lift. It was something that was always in my mind, but I didn't have that motivation, of staying, like keeping myself
Of course.
at the gym. Like you would go
lot
for
of
a
people
week
struggle
and
with
then,
that. Yep.
Exactly, yeah.
Facts.
And it was always in my mind, but I couldn't make myself like make it happen. So at that time, I think I was already like going to the gym for about 4 months. And a lot of things started happening, started changing. I felt like a different vibe. I was in this group of girls where we were kind of like talking about like not necessarily mentioning like the awakening, but we were in that vibe, like trying to change our mindset and things like
So
that.
you just happened to run into a crowd that were trying to, or were going through a change in their life, but just
Yeah.
not cracked the code yet.
And I also have a
Yes.
question about that though, because
What gym was it?
no,
I want to change my
No.
life. Oh no.
Don't ask that question.
Oh.
right?
Oh
No,
shoot.
So,
I
before
wanna
you
change.
did ayahuasca, was there anything else that you felt like, oh, I'm gonna try this to see how it affects my life?
Before?
Was
Before
you trying-
ayahuasca?
Yeah, before ayahuasca.
You mean like before I noticed this shift?
Mm-hmm.
I did try many things.
Yeah.
So you were in search of something.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Here we go.
Thank you. That's gonna help a lot.
That's what I'm.
'Cause, yes.
That's my camera. That's why I'm here.
So since I was little, I didn't notice this yet, right? But my parents always kept me in like they were trying to find therapy, groups of like some kind of, I don't know, what do you call those?
Support, help,
Support
or yeah?
groups, yeah, that kind of thing.
Parents are Mexicans, right?
Yes.
And they were trying to find therapy.
Yes.
They're educated Mexicans.
Yes.
I mean,
They're
They
different.
try. Yes.
okay, yeah, and
the
they
best
have
way.
to. I mean,
They
because
really are.
the way I grew up, there's no therapy. Just walk
Right.
it out.
Yeah.
Be like,
That's how
"Cállate,
a lot
Walk it
of us
off.
grew up,
Yeah,
yeah.
cállate. Walk it off.
Eso no
Right.
existe.
O te duele.
toma acá." I don't want to say bad words.
Órale. All I know.
But yeah, my parents always like try to find
That's awesome.
whatever they thought, they could assist me with.
Of course.
I always noticed that I was different. I was not part of the crowd, and I wanted to be part of the crowd. But I always felt, now I know that the universe, someone up there, always wanted to keep me on track. And I wanted to go the way that everybody else was going.
Right.
And the universe was like, no, You need to go this way. And I was like, but I want to go that way. How come they get to go and I don't? And there was times that the universe allowed me to go that way and things happen.
Right.
You know, it was kind of like a lesson.
It's
like,
called
hey,
life
I
experience.
told you.
Yeah.
Yes, I told you to come this way. My life has always been like that. Always. There was a time that I was upset, that I was like, you know, I want to do these things and they are allowed to do it and I'm not. It's not that I wanted to do wrong, you know, I just wanted to experience
wanna be
life
part of the crowd.
same. Yeah, exactly, the way everybody else was doing it. I did go to a few retreats. So I went to AA retreat. I don't know if you guys have heard of that.
Alcoholics Anonymous?
Yes,
Yes,
not
we
that I
have.
was an alcoholic.
No. But it makes
you know,
sense. Yeah.
Yes. So I went to that retreat twice. It's very, what's the word?
Intense?
Intense.
Is it? Dang, I thought it
Harsh.
would be fun or something. It's
Is it
harsh.
harsh?
It is. I mean, the things that you hear, the AA,
Right.
say and scream,
The people sharing their stories, right?
but
Like,
it's not just sharing. It's like they yell, they scream, and I'm not used to it. You know, it's funny because my dad is like super duper strict, and Elijah knows my dad. And you would think, oh, she's used to that, you know? Because
is he loud? Your dad is loud. Okay.
yeah.
It's,
Well, because being
Stern.
strict,
Yeah.
He's just
because being
stern.
stern and strict and loud are
That's
two
why she
different things.
commented
Because
last
there are
week.
some people that are stern, but they don't
Right.
need to be loud. You can just
Oh,
tell
no.
that they're stern. But
He
apparently,
was loud. When I was in trouble, like he was loud. He would beat me up.
Wait, whoa! You seen those beatings?
No.
Oh, okay. Whoa, we got witnesses.
I know how she's my sister.
Oh, okay. I thought they look alike, but I figured two different people. Okay.
So,
So she ain't never gonna say if there was a beatdown going on, because I'm messing. I'm joking. I'm joking.
so anyway, yeah. So you would think that I was used to that kind of treatment, but I'm not. I'm super duper sensitive, and so I always told my dad. Told me one time, he was like, "If I wasn't this strict with you, where would you guys be?" And I thought, no, because I'm different.
He wants
I'm
to take
not
the credit.
you. So that's the way he got treated. You know, that's the way he learned
Right.
to be strong and to deal with life. But
Walk it off.
it didn't work for me.
Can I ask you something? Because you said something really interesting. You said the universe, try to keep you on the path. And is it possible that the universe is telling everybody to, keep a certain road, but some are just better at listening to it than others?
Oh, I think so. Definitely.
So
I mean-
you might have been more in tune with that than maybe the crowd that you were hanging out with at the
Right.
time.
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
I never thought about it until right now that you were just
No,
kind
yeah,
of
and it makes
mentioning.
sense. I was probably trying to follow the wrong crowd. Yeah. I
You're,
mean,
you're more in tune
I
with
think
it.
it happens to all of us. You know, at some point we want to kind of do wrong. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
we just want to figure out life, and see.
Well, it's not
what
even
that's
wrong
like.
because-
That makes our personality though.
Right.
The things we do wrong, the things we do right. We later on try to find out, hey, we don't want these paths for the next generation. Whether it's your kids, your nieces, nephews, whatever, whoever you start to care about in the next generation, you don't want that path. And sometimes we come at them as, hey, I'm gonna guide you this way or guide you that way, and sometimes it's off, sometimes it's not off. But
Yeah.
Well, it also depends on the crowd, right? Because if you were hanging out with kids that wanted to do good things, positive things, things that were better for them, if that's cool, then that's probably what you wanted to do, right? It's just, oh, that's what they're doing. Why can I not do that, right?
Right.
Because it just so happens that maybe the behavior they were partaking on wasn't the most positive, but it could go both ways, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think so. Definitely.
I mean, I wanted to do cool church things until I felt like I got tricked because they took all my money.
What?
church?
It should have been. It should have been 10%. It should have been 10%.
Facts, right? It
But
should have been 10%.
I don't know how they took all your money.
10%.
Should have been 10%,
10%
son.
in your life. No.
Well,
This is a satanic
that's a whole
church.
different thing.
They take 10% of what you get at work, 10% of your mentality, 10% of your time, 10% of
Your
your
energy.
value,
Yeah.
10% of your hard-on life experiences.
Yeah, there's a teaching behind that actually. So you're not far off that 10% idea, right? The idea that God only asked of you 10% of you. We translate that to money because the Bible talks about,
Right.
in the financial aspect. But if you only dedicated also 10% of your life to God, things will be better, right? Or at least that's the idea behind it. Or, some translate it as maybe the universe. I mean, I don't know what there is, but I've heard a teaching like that, and it made a lot of sense. But yeah, it's funny, but it's not, and it's like, okay, 10%. Like, how do I break that down, right? It's interesting for sure.
But that's a different
Yeah.
subject. So,
That's why I stopped. That's my camera. That's why I stopped.
so before we get in too much deeper, we also need to go to you. So,
How much younger
feel
are you
like-
from her?
How much-
Just the
Yeah,
gap,
it's
just the age gap,
It's
just
okay,
the age
we can
gap.
say age. I mean, we don't even feel our age.
I'm like, how old am I? I'm gonna be.
You look 18.
I get that all the time.
Okay.
And it's crazy. You look 18. I was
How old do I look?
I'm 20. I'm gonna be 25 in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's good enough. We don't need to know more. That's it. I just wanted to
I'm
know
the
how much of a
youngest sister.
generation.
She's
just
younger.
Just
You were
because.
still a baby when I met you, huh? You
Yeah,
like,
I was only 15 or 16.
That's crazy.
See, because I have a huge age gap between my brothers and sisters as well, and obviously their experiences are a little bit different than mine. Although, we had the same mother, so that's the only reason why I asked.
Okay.
They don't have the same mother or father, but we're not going to get on
But she's still my sister.
Okay, I see what you mean. All right.
It's
my brother from another mother right there.
With her brother.
Okay.
Yeah, so my son's dad is her brother.
Okay.
Her real brother.
Okay.
Sister-in-law. But sister. We always call each other sisters.
Nothing wrong with that.
What was the question?
Yeah,
There's your camera. There's your camera.
You went to age, but at the same time,
I was.
before you started, sorry, I do.
I know,
That's my
it's kinda
camera.
weird.
That's your mic.
So, when it comes down to it, how did you feel before your life-changing experience? What did you?
When was the
search for
first time you
anything
noticed
else?
it?
And when did you notice you needed a life-changing experience, or you wanted to experience something different?
So with like Jordana's story, when she was saying things like,
Are you also Mexican?
no, I'm Guatemalan.
Oh.
So
My
roots-
apologies. I don't mean to
No, no
disrespect.
problem. I love Mexicans. I love Mexico. I believe I feel that I'm part Mexican.
Well, we're neighbors. We're neighbors, right? It's just I know that a lot of Guatemalans do get offended when they get called, as many South American and Central Americans, right? Just as with Asians,
I think
right?
when people are when they meet me, automatically they assume I'm Mexican.
I
used to
thought you were
kind of-
African American.
I get everything.
That's what I
honestly.
thought.
I've gone that
I can see it.
I look black. I look Dominican.
I can see
look
that, yeah.
Mexican, Venezuelan, like anything. I'm like, no, Guatemalan.
Guatemala with you.
Well, because you are everything. You're the universe. You're from everywhere.
Yes, I am.
There's my camera. I'm so sorry about that.
I heard
thing.
that.
No,
He
no,
said,
I'm so sorry. Go
While he was
ahead.
talking, he was like, Guatemalan with you. Like, what's the matter with you?
Guatemala.
Okay,
Go ahead.
so
Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean
Go
to
ahead.
derail.
So,
Guatemala
anyways,
with you.
like Jordana was saying, I always felt like I wanted to experience different things. My parents were also very strict. I grew up Mormon. I was baptized in the Mormon church.
In Guatemala or already here? Okay.
Oh yeah, that's what I was saying. That my roots are Guatemalan, but I was born in LA.
Okay.
All of my siblings were born there, but I was brought here to Utah as a 1-year-old.
Okay.
So I was raised here, and being raised like here and being Latina and in a Mormon church, I felt like was very weird. Even though that was like, there was nothing else that I knew, I still felt weird there because I just felt like very restricted, I guess you could say, because just like everything that the church puts on you. I felt like a lot of pressure, I guess. And I actually really loved the church. And to this day, I'm very thankful that I grew up in the church with the teachings that, were taught to me, because I do find them valuable, but I don't believe in religion. I believe in a higher power. I believe in God. I don't know, like, if I want to not dumb it down, but say like it's a person. But I do definitely believe that there's a very higher energy that I respect and that I have always felt throughout my life. And the changes that I wanted to make, or like when I felt that I wanted to, was just like branching outside of, what I knew, to get to know myself, because what I knew was just what was taught to me, like what I should be.
Right.
But I was like, okay, it doesn't really feel right. So yeah, I just wanted to branch out, like experience, especially as a kid, like being a kid, your parents they do tell you how to live your life, and I had brothers. I'm the youngest and all my siblings are older. But like being a sister and seeing your brothers, they get to do everything just for
That's
the
also
simple
the culture.
fact,
Yeah.
that
Yay,
they are
we're boys.
just for the fact that they are boys. And I wanted to be a boy, and now I'm like, why
Now you
the
can.
hell? No, I do not want to be a boy. I don't know.
Well, now
Younger
boys
me
go to
was
jail for 10 years for shooting women's feet.
Yeah, no, I love
Times have
being
changed.
a woman. I am a woman's woman. I have so much respect for women, men of course also, but like being a woman and being a mother, that was life changing. Also, like
right.
once I became a mom, once I had my son here, like physically here, I was like,
How old is he now?
crazy. He's gonna be 5 years old, in October.
Nice.
Yeah.
Dang.
I think one thing, one thing that you were kind of alluding to, and then hearing you out, a lot of times what happens is when you say that you were in a journey or in a search of something, you were just in a search of your true self, right? And same with you, right?
Yeah.
Like you said, well, my parents taught me. The church taught me, right? This is all ideas from everyone else, but not who you are, right? And it seems that was the same case there. And I think that's everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, I know,
That's what it is.
I
That's
know,
life.
I know. I hit a point in my life where I was struggling. I had a life already, house, work, job, son, wife, but it's just something, there was a piece missing, and I just wasn't being truthful to who I am. And that's because I wasn't sure who I was.
Right.
And then to your point earlier that we can change who we are, reading a book like The Power of Habit, that was life-changing for me. I was like, oh, snap. So that means I don't have to be this person I've been this whole time who I'm not happy with nor fulfill. I can change who I am, and that really helped me out.
And it's a lot of what you're ready to consume.
Right.
The thing is, people think consuming is just what you eat, but the people around you, you're going to consume their thoughts, opinions, and their way of life. I could see my friends still hanging out with people that may not be going anywhere in life, and I'm like, bro, you want to hang out with that because you're consuming that environment, and the way they're making money, you're going to feel like, hey, that's the way I need to make money. The way they're living it, you're going to feel like that, A person that's watching the news all day, and if the news is only talk about fear, guess what?
Yes.
They're consuming that.
It's fear
They
sales,
only
man.
know, they only know fear. So when people talk about ayahuasca, if the news is like, oh man, the funny thing about it is You go back 10 years, everybody was like, weed is the worst drug ever.
Yeah.
Now it's legalized.
Yeah.
It's
They
funny.
never
My
talk bad
mom,
about it because they have to
3 years ago.
advertise it. Yeah, they have to advertise it, so they never talk bad about it. No one says, "Oh, weed is the worst drug ever." Oh no, I relax once in a while and smoke a doobie. But
No,
But
but
yeah.
it's true because my
That's
mom
just
just
what it is,
3
you know?
years ago, she's like, Juan, I heard that your sister's smoking pot. I was like,
So
okay.
right,
And she's like, well, marijuana. But I'm like, Mom, Barack Obama used to smoke weed, right? He was president, the leader of the free world. She's like, well, I know. It's just I never like. You can see
The
right
change,
the
yeah.
change there, yeah. Just because it's always been this misconception, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it started with the hippie era. Like it wasn't a good look,
Yeah, it
right?
wasn't. It
It's
wasn't.
not until just recent where it's like, you know what? There's maybe nothing wrong with this, and then they see all these benefits. I mean, I heard even benefits for cancer. I mean, I don't know how truthful those are because I'm not in that situation. I'm not a scientist. I'll read an article or two and kind of like, okay, that's interesting. And it kind of goes to things like ayahuasca or microdosing. Like you hear,
they're
like
talking
Joe
about it a
Rogan,
lot
right? He
more.
talks about, taking on this, what do they call them? Not trips, but I guess kind of trips, right? Where they go with someone and they microdose with something and they have like a shaman,
A
and,
ceremony?
right? And they do
ceremony.
not necessarily a ceremony, but at
Okay.
least someone just because they call a shaman someone that is at least there to kind of like
A
just
guidance.
guide you, right?
Yeah.
Like just protect you, make sure that you don't hurt yourself. I
Right.
think it's the idea behind it. And I thought it was always interesting because, they always talk about how they found something or they realized something. And I know I realized something just by reading a book, but,
That's awesome.
maybe there's other things, right? That could, I mean, there's
Well-
many ways to skin a cat, I guess what I'm trying to
I want
say.
to say this, and I want to get to after you guys tried it, what's changed in your life, and excuse me, and I want to also ask about.
Well,
if you-
before you ask that, how scary was your first?
And
your
that's
first,
what I wanted to ask about. Which journey would you like to talk about, and
Yeah.
how you experienced it, how it felt? If you've done it more than once, which was your scariest journey, if you want to talk about that, and which one was your least scariest journey, if you would like to talk about that. And I had
Did
one
you
more thing that I
introduce
wanted
her
say,
to
but I
ayahuasca or
did I what?
can't. She introduced.
okay.
She introduced.
Oh, yeah.
She introduced. everyone.
So
Yeah,
so
my whole
before
family.
before you go to that because you're the most experienced on that, I want to hear your first experience on that or the questions that you were asking.
Yes. So whatever you're okay with talking about, how your most scariest journey was, how your most relaxing journey was, because I know that when you're taking these things, it's a journey that you need to take. A lot of people, I like to do shrooms. A lot of people say, "Oh, I had a bad trip," and I'm like, "I've never had a bad trip, just a trip that I needed to go through."
Dang, that's profound.
And that's
That's
the
your
thing.
camera, bro.
It's the thing. It's gonna educate you. It's gonna teach you because we fight amongst ourselves, and we suppress a lot of things, and these medicines will bring it out. It'll make you think what you don't want to think. It'll make you face what you don't want to face.
Yeah.
And so to take that journey, especially them strong journeys where it's like, oh man, I can't do this. You feel like you can't do it, but
You
a lot of
actually
people.
said that.
The funny thing about religion is a lot of people say God won't give you too much that you can handle. You know what I mean? When you're going through this journey, it's never too much you can't handle. You may feel like it after because you really don't want to follow those guidance because
It's
have a
because you don't
choice,
want to go
know?
through it. Yeah.
Right. No, we have a choice. So after we went through that journey, we have a choice to say, hey, this is what I'm going to choose to stick to the journey or I'm going to choose to ignore it. You know what I mean? And so we may turn back and be like, you know what? Forget this. I'm gonna be the old me. I know what I have to do, and we're gonna still be fighting in our head. You know, and the next journey may be like, hey, even though we didn't do anything that the last journey told us, it's still a peaceful journey. And it's like, look, I'm just glad you made your own choices. And
Right.
now I'm gonna give you peace and harmony. So I know that some journeys can be hard, some journeys can be easy, my journey was definitely hard. Oh my god.
I remember.
Yeah, she was there too. Yeah,
I was there.
yeah.
That was
in
your shaman.
Ayawaska, Yeah, yeah. I was in
no.
there. I was in there fighting.
No, please.
Literally,
life.
I was fighting. I was like,
Oh, damn.
It was
Turning
funny at
Super
a
Saiyan.
certain point. I'm just gonna say, like,
Whoa.
1 second that what he said, he was like on his knees, right? And then
Here we go.
he was like this, like on the floor, and then he looks up and he kind of looks at, like, he glances at me. He's like, "Man, I can't do this."
Dang. Hey, and my homeboy, like the homeboy I went with too, he was over there like
Oh, chill.
chilling, and I'm looking at him like, oh my god, is he not? He was like, dog, I had the most peaceful experience. I was
That
like,
was
and the crazy thing is, it's like at first I wasn't feeling anything, and I was just like, you know what? All right,
Let me take more.
this ain't gonna hit. This ain't gonna
Okay.
hit. And I'm like, man, I have a negative thought in my head. Like I have a real negative thought in my head. And then I was like, I gotta spit. And as soon as I spit, it was like I'm throwing the thought out. Nope. All throw up. Like
Purging
exorcism
moment.
mode. Yeah.
Damn.
I was like, man, that's a bad thought. And the thought went vivid, like
You saw everything.
like I could see everything, and I was like, oh man. And it was just like people I want around that shouldn't be around, people who's just there to just be there. What I've been fighting, just everything. It was a lot for me. And
So, Elijah said a lot.
yeah.
So,
Can I fix this? Like, I feel like
of
it's
course,
too low.
of course, yeah. Get comfortable.
You want to help her out though? Too?
I'll try. There you go. She got it. She don't
And
need
then
my
just
help,
tighten it
bro.
up for her.
She's an independent woman. There you go. So,
Okay.
she introduced you to it. I want to start off there. What led to that introduction? Did you approach you? She approach you?
So-
Let's start there.
So
Let's start from the beginning, right?
I was living a regular day in my life, and
Just a regular Sunday.
here comes Jordana. Hey, like, let me tell you something. I love whenever she wants to tell me anything.
Now, did you
So-
know that she was doing things like this before? Okay.
It was
okay.
no, I didn't. She was just like, there's like this thing that I was introduced to, and I really think that it would be a good idea, like for you and like for our family to try.
Mm-hmm.
And she explained, like how it works, and I thought it was very cool, like
So, what was the main selling point?
the healing
Okay.
process.
Okay.
But like I researched it more, and I saw videos
You
of
never
other
go to
people.
Google. You never go to
I went
Google.
to YouTube.
Oh,
and how long
you getting some
after?
rabbit holes
How
in there.
long after she told you did you actually do it?
I think
Because
it was
I was
within
running.
months.
Okay.
Yeah, I
It
was
took you a
running.
while. Yeah, it took you a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was making excuses. I asked everybody.
How long was it for you
Oh,
then?
psh, it was like a year and a half.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
wow.
As soon as I got
Oh,
out the
wow.
military, she was like, you should try this. It's going to change your life. You're going to get all the things you want. And I'm thinking, I'm going to get all the things I want anyway. I'm just going to do it.
Okay,
this
ego.
guy.
Because I'm going to make it happen. Because I'm going to make it happen.
Yeah.
Yo,
That's
yo,
my mentality. I'm going to
dude,
make it happen.
when
But
you say things like that, you gotta look at the camera, man. Like, I already need to think.
it's been said already. Right. So, and that's the thing. So every time she was like, yeah, you can do this, you should do this, people around me, they started bringing it up. And they started saying, you should do this, you should do that.
It was a
the thing
universe.
is, yeah.
You were in
we're getting out
alignment.
of the military
Damn.
when COVID's going on, depression. I don't know who wants to be there for me, who's not going to be there for me. I don't know who to talk to. Everybody's still seeing my life is good, but I'm seeing like me spiraling downhill because of like so much is going on and so much in the military is like then got to me. Then when I'm talking to people, when I'm around people, it's like I don't want to be that military person and that strict person and that depressed person. And so I'm like running. I'm running and I don't know who to turn to because it's a whole new world for me right now that I've gotten out the military and everyone's different.
Yeah.
So
Tough.
so people keep telling me, you should try ayahuasca. You should do this, you should do that. And I'm like, nah, I don't want something that's going to keep messing with my head, especially that's going to change my life. And then I also didn't want to, like...
Because it was gonna
as
change
bad-
anyways.
No, but as bad as my life I felt was, like as much as I was trying to do certain things, as bad as it was, I was still too scared to change it. I was
Yeah,
accepting of the life I was living and scared to accept something that could possibly be new to my life.
Because you wanted to be in control.
Yeah.
So whether you change,
Yeah.
you not changing
Right.
it was, you knew what was to expect because you were
Facts.
comfortable. But if you were to change it, you were in the uncomfortable and the unknown.
Now, before we continue, I just
Scary.
wanted to point out a few things. There's been a few comments, and Daniel Gomez, shout outs to you. He made a nice comment. Life is not about finding yourself; it's about creating yourself. I thought that was really dope. And then Guillermo Campos, shout out to you as well. He said, medicine will heal and drugs will kill you. Cannabis is definitely a medicine, just an opinion. So, and you know, you said something before we went into our whole thing. You said that the selling point was the healing. So continue.
So in my life, I have gone, I mean, I think everybody, but, you know, there was a lot of trauma in like my childhood. There was abuse. There was a lot of things that I knew that I had to heal from. And I felt like it kind of would have just like happened. It would happen by itself, I guess. Like somehow, like, you know, it would unwind and like it would all come into place. But I never thought that like ayahuasca would take part in that. So the first time that Jordana told me to do it, like there was a ceremony ready, you know, to be
Now,
done.
describe the ceremony, because that type of words it is always intriguing to me. So, what is a ceremony?
Basically, there was a shaman also. He like guided us through it all.
Now, when you say shaman, it's not the Native American guy with the feathers.
It's a
and the-
licensed person that's able to watch over us while we're taking our journey.
Okay.
So,
And who he also takes the
yeah,
ayahuasca.
he takes
So,
it with us. He takes the journey
a
with
guy
us.
who
Or she.
kind of
A guy.
prepared himself,
And
trained
he-
himself for this.
And he honestly
Can
doesn't.
it be a she?
Like the one
not?
that guided us, he does not consider himself a shaman.
Okay.
So he says, "I'm not a shaman. I'm
There's
just
a specific certification for that?
You know, I think a shaman comes from ancestors. Like
Okay.
you're born a shaman.
Okay, okay.
If you are born from a shaman,
It's
you
more
know,
of a calling.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Perfect.
And
He
if
still
you
has a
come from
license,
that
right?
line,
Because
yeah,
he said that he showed his license.
Yeah.
And he let them know that
License to kill.
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, and again, it's just the verbiage. That's all. It's intriguing to me, right? You say ceremony,
definitely
you say
educational, the
shaman,
more
so it's like,
detail.
okay, like, what are we talking about? Because when you say ceremony, I think something else. When you say shaman, I think something else. And that's the only reason. So,
When
sorry.
I think ceremony is like something that we're honoring something. We're
right.
honoring, like there's a respect towards
Right.
the
medicine.
like, the medicine, like everything that's going on.
Okay.
He like prepares us. It was
Does he
it
give
2
you
days?
like does he give you like warnings
For
before?
preparation.
Yeah, like when we went to your house, like how
We had a
yeah.
whole week of preparation.
Oh yeah. Well,
Oh,
She
wow.
told us
Okay.
2 weeks.
Okay.
Wait, tell them that. Tell them what I was not allowed to
Well,
do.
before we get to that, because I'm interested on that, I just want you to finish your story. That's all.
Okay.
So I apologize if I keep cutting off. I just want to understand more.
I know,
That's all.
you're good.
Thank you for your patience
Okay, let me see.
and understanding.
and understand.
It's cut and short. Like the patience is thin.
Oh my God! All right, I'm gonna stay quiet now.
that.
Yeah,
Point.
all right, y'all. Just
Stare at my
listen, okay?
camera.
Breaking point.
Okay, let me see. Where do I start? So I didn't want to do it the first time. I honestly, watching the videos and everything of like how intense it was, and considering everything that I had been through, I was like, I'm gonna die. Literally, her dad asked me. Go ahead and laugh into that.
No, that's a
Right?
Yeah.
Like I was so scared
That's the
that
fear.
it would be too intense, my emotions, because I know that that's what was coming up, was all of the suppressed emotions, and there's so many, you know. And I was like, I'm gonna die, and I'm not ready to die, so I'm not doing it. And I didn't do it. And then they told me again, there's gonna be another one. I don't know if it was like in the following month, but it was like, you know, pretty close together. And I felt like called to do it. I was like, okay,
Something
I'm
was
not gonna
telling you,
die. Yeah, since I had that, because I feel like with any like shrooms, with anything, if my like energy towards it, going into it is like anxious or whatever, I'm gonna have like a bad trip. You know, like if I don't feel like I'm prepared or whatever, like I don't want to do it. And this time I felt like, okay, I'm ready to release whatever it is, and I'm ready to step into that change.
Okay.
So it's funny also because her mom was like calling and being like, how's Sandy? Like, she was so worried, like, because she thought me out of everybody would like have the worst trip considering everything I went
Mom,
through.
you're not,
And
you're not helping out here.
It was the complete opposite. I had the most beautiful trip ever.
Dang.
And her brother was like, same thing. Like, he looked at me and he's like, you look beautiful right now. Like,
Wow.
and I was throwing up and everything, but he was like, you look like, because I was
something about you
I
just
was releasing all of the old negative, like, I was releasing everything that no longer served me. And it literally was like, I lost it, you know, it
Wow.
was gone. And I felt that.
That's
And,
crazy.
like, when I say beautiful, it was beautiful because, so her brother, George, I'm not going to say names, her brother was like, he started to kind of, he kind of was like starting to cry. Other people were starting to cry. And I'm a crier. I'm not afraid like to cry. I'll cry whenever. But at that
You were
time,
like, I'm
I was
stronger than I
I was kind of shy, I guess, like to cry. And then the shaman was like, if you guys need to cry, like go ahead, you know? And in that moment, tears just started coming.
You should have just turned on a sign that says, you can cry now.
Yeah, and I was like, okay. But that made me also realize, and another, when I was giving birth, like my mom kind of brought up, like, you can cry. Like, it was like, I felt like I needed permission to cry. Like,
Wow.
you know, to
So how
feel
much
in front of
suppression
people.
you had in your life that you felt that you needed
lot.
permission
And we
to
all
cry?
do.
Show
No,
your
we all
emotions.
That is so
We all
crazy.
do. Even without ayahuasca or anything,
Right,
there's a lot of
right.
people who feel like they need permission to
do
show
certain things, yep.
emotion, to show,
Or you
to
show it and you'd be like
intimate.
apologizing.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
No, that's fair. That's
A
fair.
lot of people do.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
didn't realize until right now that you're kind of breaking it down. I was like,
Right.
yo.
Yeah, I didn't realize it either until those two like experiences.
wow.
So I started to
Trippy.
cry, and it was like a calm. Like I don't know why. I like to cry. Like sometimes
peaceful
when
crying.
I don't feel good, I'm like I probably just need to cry. So I'll go put on like a sad movie, a sad song, and I'll cry.
You do that?
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
And then I just started to
a
think of
move
like
right there.
even though it was the negative, like I had negative thoughts towards other people or towards certain experiences, I still felt it like something, I guess, beautiful because it was something
So it was
that I
joys
could
of
learn
tear?
from. It was tears of joy, not joys of tears.
That's right. Sorry, ESL people.
That's your camera.
I was born in the U.S., but I lived in Mexico many years. So
I still do
I had to
that.
relearn English, so my bad. I apologize.
All right.
So at first I wasn't like completely, I guess, into the medicine, if you guys know what I mean. Like I was still, I guess, like conscious. And then I was kind of like, okay, like, is this it? Because like I can do this without the medicine, you know? But then I started to just like relax and I let every thought just flow. I kind of didn't try to like stick to one thought, you know? I just was like, okay, I have this thought, I have this feeling.
You're
cool, acknowledge it,
observing.
let it go. And like, you know, keep it coming, whatever. And then I like laid down and I know that I was into like the medicine because when I opened my eyes, I was throwing up and there was already like throw up in the little
Bucket. In the
bucket that I
Yeah.
had. And I was like, is that mine? Like it had to be, you know? But I didn't know. I wasn't
Someone
even
borrow
like
it.
conscious. No. Yeah, I don't know. No, it was definitely me, but I just wasn't conscious.
She can guarantee it was her.
You know? It was me, guys. Go on.
Oh my God.
It was me. And I was like, oh, shoot. Like, you know, I'm back all of a sudden. And I started to see things even like with my eyes open. Like I would see like literal like butterflies, like kind of like just the shape, like outline, like a
And
neon.
like this thing?
Yes,
yeah.
like this.
So
just,
that's factual.
fluttering, like,
Yes.
you know.
These
Yeah.
definitely help.
yeah.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just saw things like that, just like blooming, everything like, I don't know how to explain it. I would say like blooming, like
Right. Just
beauty.
blossoming. Yeah.
Yes,
It's just
blossoming.
Okay.
And I was like, this is, you know, something beautiful. And I saw a lot of colors. And then after like the trip, I asked like what those mean. And it was like towards
So someone
self-love.
helps translate that too?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's like certain, because
Well, you can ask the guide.
Uh-huh.
You can ask, like, if you don't understand something, he can assist
Okay.
with your permission, of course, like
Nice.
asking your spirit for permission.
That's dope. It's like translating dreams.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
kind of. And before, I just remembered, before we started it, I remember feeling like a presence behind me. And I was on, like only a wall was behind me, you know?
Right.
But I felt and like
It was
I
the person that
saw-
threw up on your bucket.
No, I saw a shadow, but I kind of just like ignored it. And then after that, I was like, I'm pretty sure that was like my grandma or my aunt, because they have always come to me. Both my grandma and my aunt have been the most like special people in my life who've always been there for me. But they
felt
both
the
passed
presence.
away. So I was like, that was them. And when I like told that to the shaman, he said, I'm so glad that you brought that up, because he said that like in his like prayer or whatever, he like opened like portals.
portal.
Yeah. So that other
Okay.
like our ancestors can be with us. And I totally
That's
believe
deep.
that they were. Yeah.
Wow.
My grandma and my aunt have both come to me in dreams. And it's crazy because my grandma, she had a stroke, and she once, and like she survived it, but then she died from another one. But in like her life while I knew her, she did not speak. I didn't know like her voice. She would just make like sounds.
And that was because of the first stroke that she survived.
Yeah. And she also like couldn't she didn't have full mobility of her arm and her leg, but in my dreams she was completely healthy, and she would talk to me like, you know, in words.
Wow.
was-
And this was all during the first trip.
This was
Oh,
actually
this is-
before.
Oh.
So when I did ayahuasca, like it opened up more of like the self-love, which was something that I didn't think it would be like the top, I guess you could say, like I call it the topic of like my journey
Right,
now,
right.
you know? It's been self-love. Since I did ayahuasca, I was like, okay, like what I need to work on is self-love.
Oh.
But I didn't think like it would be as intense as it is and as hard as it is. Because I
Well,
feel
the way
like
you describe it, it doesn't sound intense.
It
like it
doesn't.
actually
No.
sounds, you know,
it was
great.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because my first trip was self-love too.
Well, that's what
Oh,
he
really?
said. He said it was
Yeah.
intense.
Mine was intense.
And
Mine
she
was
made
super
fun of him
intense.
for it. So it's like, I can tell you it was
Well, waking
intense.
up is hard.
Yeah.
Really?
It's definitely hard.
Yeah, and
it's
it-
not beautiful. Like pink roses and pink clouds.
Just
Like
throw up
everything
in your
comes
bucket
no.
already.
And they say the more you fight it, the harder it's gonna be. So I'm yelling out, I accept it. I accept it. I'm literally, I'm
Like,
I
please hear
accept
me.
it.
I'm good.
For
Please
real.
don't make me wake up bad.
like why? Why do y'all keep coming back to it? And I'll have different visions,
Hmm.
and I'd still go back to the visions that I didn't want to see. You know, so.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, and also
That's amazing.
So
thank
we're
you
coming
for
up-
sharing. That's
Thank you, guys.
amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And we're coming up on our hour. I want to know if everybody's okay with keep on going past the hour.
Yeah, let's
or
go.
Do y'all want to?
Well, I
2
got a
hours.
curfew.
Sounds good. Sounds good to me.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's go.
That's my camera.
All
Let's do
right.
it.
You good back there too?
Are we good?
Producer, are you good?
I'm good.
Do you
Yeah,
want to share
yeah.
your experience of ayahuasca?
I've never done
You
it.
done it? Oh, look
Like, oh, what? I didn't
about
know
to
that
say-
about you.
I've been inviting her.
So-
She doesn't want to.
All right, so
So she's-
so you share. That was amazing, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah. Thank
you.
But she was the catalyst for this. So how did that started?
How did mine start?
Yeah.
Okay.
How were you introduced
Oh,
to it?
but before that, please, I really want everybody to hear what you would have us do. What you would have us do 2 weeks prior. She told me 2 weeks. Everybody said they had
you still
1
on
week.
that? You want
I
to talk
did
about
like
that?
3 days.
Okay.
You did 3 days?
I think so.
You want me to tell them? Or
Rebel.
Yeah. Tell us.
I can tell. I don't
Tell
know.
us.
Go ahead.
Tell
2
us,
weeks-
tell us.
2 weeks prior, she said, "This is what I have to
Okay.
do."
So before you tell me how you did it, what was your
No,
expectation?
this is what she told
Okay,
us.
go ahead.
Yeah, so he wants me to share that it's suggested that before you do a ceremony, an ayahuasca ceremony, that you follow certain things, right? It's not mandatory because it's really
She
up
didn't
to
tell me
you.
that.
Well, guys, take notes, okay? Let's go.
I mean, it's not mandatory because nobody's going to force you to do what it's asked of you. It's really like a compromise with yourself.
Like a commitment.
A commitment. There you go.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. So either
Oh,
you're
ESL is paying
willing-
off.
Either you're willing to, have a nice experience, or I mean, you're just lying to yourself, nobody else, right? I don't know if he lied to me,
Oh no.
but
I did
it's
that.
been.
Well, you didn't tell him that it wasn't mandatory, so he took it
I
seriously.
probably didn't because I know Elijah. So it's suggested that you eat, if possible, vegan.
Okay.
I mean, they say vegetarian, as long as you don't eat if you have to, if you feel
So the
that
cleaner,
you
the
have
better.
to, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I only
Exactly.
did vegetarian though. I didn't do vegan.
The more natural,
Yeah.
right? The more natural you can
So
go,
you gotta go to
even
wholesales
better.
and buy yourself some healthy
Sprouts.
food. Sprouts.
We're advertising right here.
Whole Foods.
Whole
I
Foods.
mainly
Oh,
did
wholesales. Did I say
Whole Foods,
wholesales?
yeah.
My
I was
bad.
like wholesales.
Never
Wholesales.
mind.
I only knew Whole
I
Foods.
thought I was reverting back to the good, and then I need some ayahuasca.
Hey, so they say if you feel that you have to eat meat, have some chicken
Okay.
or salmon.
Salmon. Salmon.
If you
I love
feel
salmon.
you have to, you really don't have to. You're not gonna die if you don't. But all natural.
So this is like a
veggies,
cleansing.
fruits. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like no medication. That could be dangerous.
So if I have a headache, what do I do?
Deal with it.
Yeah. Drink more water.
Ask your higher
Drink
self
more water, guys.
to help you. And that's kind of like a test, it's like a test on yourself.
No
like, are you
melatonin.
willing? Yeah.
No melatonin.
No.
All right.
Nada.
No over the counter. No.
A lot of
You
water.
can't sleep.
alkaline
You
water.
write it out.
Drink alkaline water.
What about caffeine? Can I
no
take coffee? No coffee.
Zero.
Yeah.
All right. I'm okay. I'm okay with
caffeine,
that.
No medication. No herbs. No marijuana.
Yeah.
Marijuana.
Marijuana. No cannabis.
No ca-
You know
no
what got me?
shrooms.
Yeah. You know what
No,
got me?
we'll talk about that in a little bit. So
I can't wait
Go
to
ahead.
No sex.
Facts.
For
No sex.
Yes.
She said no
So
sex.
you
Now,
go to
listen.
Sprouts,
He said
you
that's
go
no
to
problem.
Listen.
Whole's Food,
She
no sex.
she said
So far.
She said no sex. Everyone wants to say, what is sex? No sex. No.
Well, let's open that. Let's open the Pandora box, right? What is no sex? Is it just the act of
You can't even have sex with
penetration,
yourself.
or is it okay? That was my next question.
Yes.
Masturbation.
For
nothing.
2 weeks.
Nothing.
That's
None
not
of that.
allowed either.
None of that.
All right, guys, no more.
Everything start looking crazy.
Put the dildos away, ladies.
Right. Now,
right.
now, remember, she said that it's recommended for a week. She said she only did these things
3
for
days.
3 days.
She lied.
I
You
was
went
there
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
So you went 2
Feeling
weeks
like, hey,
eating
this
clean,
the only way I'm gonna clean myself if I
Good.
don't do anything.
and no
And I'm
sex.
proud of Elijah.
I had to
Are those
not
the
watch
two-
TV after a certain time.
Are those the two major things, or is there more?
Which ones?
Just the eating clean,
diet
the dieting, and the non-sexual
non-sex.
contact.
Drinking a lot of water, alkaline water.
Which and even if you're not gonna do ayahuasca, drink a lot of water.
Yes.
It's just do it,
Day
guys.
before fasting. Fast
Fasting.
the day before.
Yes.
So no
It
veggies
suggests
the day
No
before.
anything the day before. You just drink water.
Mm-hmm.
I think was able to drink. Yeah, because they gave us water the day of. So yeah.
So
You
no
don't
soda.
You don't eat anything the day before. So you're hungry that whole day. You're like, can we hurry up and get this over so I can eat?
So that was actually gonna be my question, because you guys keep talking about throwing up, and if I ever decide, should I go with the empty stomach? Is that the best idea?
I'm gonna be honest.
Be honest.
I could never fast. I haven't found the reason why I cannot fast. If I go hours without eating, I feel
You
like
get
my
hu-
blood
you get
pressure
hungry?
goes down. Doctor says it sounds more like a sugar thing, like my sugar levels go down. I don't know. I just feel
You just gotta have your food.
strange. Yeah, and I mean I don't have like a big meal, but I can have a fruit, a banana, some seeds, water. I mean,
So what was the most challenging part for you during those 2 weeks?
Oh,
Was
just
it the
no
food?
sex.
Oh, it was the sex.
No sex.
wow.
Okay, so it wasn't the eating good. It was
Because at first I was like, oh, I could do this.
Okay.
Like nobody loves me.
call no one.
No, but,
Don't call anyone.
Yeah, no.
Don't text anyone.
I definitely felt like I could do it.
No
And,
sneaky links.
Right. The funny thing is, it's like it's like getting in a relationship. That's when everybody wants you.
So as soon as you
So
started
when he said no-
prepping for your trip,
all the
that's when the
girls
girls were like, "Hey, boy, what you up
doing?"
to?"
Dang, this the girl of my dreams. Should I hit her up? Hey, actually, I have to. I'm just chilling
I
right
gotta
now.
talk
I
to
can't
you.
do anything. Yeah,
Don't
you can't
text
talk
me.
to him. Can't do anything.
forever.
Don't go out.
Blocked.
Don't go out. It's all tempting.
Temptation,
Like
yeah.
my friends. Anytime we went out drinking, they was like, "You gonna take the shot?" No, I'm not drinking for a little while. I'm not.
You
gonna
still
drink.
went out?
Yeah. So there
During
was
those
kind
So
of
you put
birthdays.
yourself in a bad
Wow.
environment.
'Cause I was
That's
strong
hard,
enough to-
bro.
Oh, you
to
were
be there.
strong.
Oh, you were
Yeah.
strong enough.
That's
So
good.
birthdays, I was like, all right, I'll come out because I've been like skipping people's birthdays and stuff like that. So
So you don't want to seem like the rude friend either.
right. So I was just like, nah, I'm doing it. But my friends actually have been going on their own journey. So before I did it, because after I did it, I wasn't drinking either. But before I did it, I would tell them that, and they'd be like, "Oh, no, we got you. And then somebody new would be like, "You want to take a shot?" Not taking a shot. I got to fast for 2 weeks. I got to do this. I got to do that.
Nice.
But it was throughout that time, it was like, introduced to this person, introduced to that person, and then they'd be like connected to me and want to know more about me. And I was like, I want to know more about you too.
Wait for me after
Just
2
wait
weeks.
2
Right.
weeks.
Yeah.
Just
So, yeah.
you mark the calendar.
Right. The journey of change actually started before you took the ayahuasca. So,
Wow,
and
I like
things
that.
changed
So the
because-
the journey of change starts
Yeah.
Yes.
before.
I think once you hear ayahuasca, like an invitation to yourself, I think that's where it starts. Definitely.
And it's just you just drink it. Okay, perfect. All right. Well, we know that.
Reintroduce the show.
Huh?
Let me reintroduce the show.
Okay.
When I want to tell you, Guillermo gave you a tip for headaches. Do you want to read it on your phone?
Oh no, go ahead and tell me,
Oh,
It says,
Guillermo. You're a lifesaver.
if you have a headache, drink water with Celtic salt and you can do breathing exercises to help you with that.
Celtic salt.
Celtic salt.
So can I do
Celtic
that?
salt.
Yeah,
Okay. Just because I'm not supposed to do
Right.
anything.
Are you ready?
definitely. Yeah.
Okay.